A liquid-cooled Royal Enfield Himalayan with 40 brake horsepower and upside-down forks.
That's basically a Royal Enfield Superbike. So, before we get into the Himalayan, let's talk about what we've got coming up for the channel.
So we've just been out to Wetherill Park to Yamaha headquarters to pick up 2 brand new MT-07s.
Yes! The upgraded version of what I currently ride, so very exciting.
So pretty cool because we've got the HO version, so the high output version, and the LAMS version. It's going to be nice to do a little comparison between those two to see what the differences are. We've also got some really good rider stories coming up, a couple more before we finish up for the end of the year. A couple more reviews, so really exciting. The Aprilia Tuono Factory 660. You got to ride that, and I know you like that one.
I love it. What? No secrets.
Don't give it away. She liked it. I did too. And we've got a Vespa review as well, the new Vespa GTS Super, which was a cool little bike, and I took that on a bit of a road trip, which was great fun. We also have a little tips and tricks series. Tegan, what sort of things are we covering?
So this is kind of things that I'm really interested in learning about, you know, how to replace your oil, just basic things that...
Pre-ride check.
Pre-ride check, things that you should know, but may not. So we're here to help.
But also, we've got a couple lined up with things like, you know, you're out for a ride with your mate, he comes off, what do you do? So a little first responders type thing as well.
We're very excited about this series.
So it's a really cool little series. We're excited about that. And then finally, our Lombok and Sumbawa tour is on for 27th of July to 3rd of August next year. Now, those people who have contacted me, I will get in touch with some more details in the next couple of weeks. It's looking like we're going to be pretty much fully booked on that one. So if you are interested, shoot me an email and I'll send you some details.
Yep.
But it should be a really good tour. Really looking forward to it. But we should probably get into the Himalayan.
So, we've had the teaser that's just been dropped last week.
By Royal Enfield, yeah.
What were your first thoughts?
So, I mean, obviously pretty excited. I'm a fan of the brand. Big departure from some of the bikes they've produced in the past, and a bit of a big departure from the current Himalayan. There's been so much leaked about this bike. In fact, itchyboots has just dropped a video this morning. She's back in India and on a pre-production model of the bike, so I'm going to be checking that one out later tonight. But the things that have been hinted at are... The first thing is it's apparently a 451cc liquid cooled, and that's the key thing, liquid cooled. So that's the first thing. So 450cc liquid cooled, double overhead cam, 4-valve engine is what it's rumoured. The fuel tank looks a bit bigger. Seat height looks about the same, so that's kind of interesting. The other key big thing is upside down forks. First Royal Enfield, to my knowledge, with upside down forks.
So what the hell are upside down forks? Because I don't know the difference.
So if you look at a lot of motorbikes, the ones with traditional telescopic forks, the bigger outside tube is attached to the axle and the inner tube is attached to the triple clamp. Now on upside down forks, it's literally the other way around. So the heavier outside tube is attached to the triple clamp and the smaller and lighter inner tube is attached to the axle. So it means that the more rigid part is attached directly to the triple clamp. Now that gives you a bit more stability and it makes it stronger. And apparently the outside tube doesn't need to be as long, so that would also mean it's a bit lighter, which, you know, reducing weight is always a good thing.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, I reckon riders like you and me and probably 90% of people out there really wouldn't notice the difference. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you would. And would you notice it on a 450cc single Royal Enfield? Don't know, but like if it's going to reduce a bit of weight, surely that's a good thing.
Okay, so in terms of that liquid cooling, is that going to be an issue for sort of those die-hard Royal Enfield classic riders?
Oh, look, maybe. I'm not sure, but I mean, they have to go liquid cooled. Most bikes these days are going liquid cooled. It's very hard to get a bike through emissions regulations if it is air cooled, and there's a few. Liquid cooled bikes, generally, the engine runs a bit better. They're more efficient. Thermal efficiency, they're much better at that.
And what about that headlight? That looks pretty different.
Yeah, so I think it looks like it's a new LED headlight. So that's something new, another new. Look, it's basically a new bike. Looks
like chassis looks totally different as well.
Yeah, the chassis looks completely different. Yeah. I think it's going to be a little bit heavier than the old bike. Not that it's a heavy bike. It's be about 199 kilos, something like that is what they're talking about. Still got a 21-inch front wheel.
Yep. So
that's like standard with the Himis. And that's a great thing if you're going to be taking it on dirt or off-road. I assume it's got a 6-speed gearbox. I think the old one was a 5. So that's another step up there.
Of maintenance as well?
Yeah, they obviously require a little bit more maintenance. So it's a bit more of a complex engine, but obviously the engine runs a bit better. But the key thing with making it liquid cooled is the horsepower's up. So the big gripe with a lot of people on the old Himalayan, it was about 24 horsepower or something like that. This one's rumoured to be up around the 40 brake horsepower. To me, that puts it into a whole new segment.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it becomes a really usable bike. Now, I really like the old one. The old one, I thought it was a great bike. It was built like a tank.
Yeah.
But like it was an interesting, it was a fun bike to ride. But all of a sudden, liquid cooled, 40 horsepower. This all of a sudden becomes a bit of a serious player, and not just in India. It'll be a serious bike, and I think there's a few other bikes in that category. There's a KTM, and there's a couple of others that are in that sort of market. They're all probably about the same weight and price. This one may come in a little bit cheaper. Having said that, liquid cooled engines a little bit more expensive to produce, so the price may be up a little bit.
Yeah.
We don't know when that's when it's released. We'll know what the pricing is. But I think it's an exciting move. I think it's a move they had to make.
So speaking of release, do we know any clues about release date?
Yeah, I think they're talking early November, which would line up with the EICMA show in Milan. So that kind of makes sense.
Hopefully we can get a review in on it as well.
No doubt we will. I must admit the couple of bikes that I've really missed having in the garage since we've handed them back were bikes like the Benelli Leoncino Trail,
Yeah.
the Royal Enfield Scram, the older Himalayan, but even things like I had a Triumph Scrambler 1200. Just those bikes I could take, do a bit of off-roading, because I don't have any bikes like that. So the bikes that I could take on some gravel confidently,
Yeah.
they're the bikes that I've missed. So I'm really keen to jump on this one.
Nice. So we've just got some brand new, amazing, beautiful shoes and jackets in our online store, so make sure to check those out.
Lots of women's gear too. Remember if you're interested in the Lombok and Sumbawa tour, 27th of July to the 3rd of August 2024, shoot me an email, shop@bikertalk.com.au. Places are filling up, but I'll be sending out some information about that, and it is going to be epic.
But in the meantime, check out our last Himalayan review.